Your words shape your wealth. Every syllable you utter is a seed, and every seed has the power to grow into a harvest. Life is not random, it is organized by law, and one of the most powerful laws is the law of spoken word. Words are not mere sounds drifting into the air, they are vibrations carrying intention, energy, and substance. When you speak, you call invisible forces into visible expression. When you declare, you write on the invisible fabric of the universe, and what you write eventually appears as your reality. Many fail to see this truth because they imagine their words are too small, too ordinary, or too fleeting to shape anything. Yet every fortune or failure, every rise or fall, begins with a statement that either built or broke the dream. When you say, I am poor, you are carving poverty into the structure of your life. When you say, I cannot afford this, you are closing the door on possibility. But when you say, I live in abundance, you invite abundance to find you. When you declare, money comes to me freely and endlessly, you set the current of wealth in motion. This is not superstition, nor is it empty ritual, it is the law of cause and effect. The world's wealthiest people understand this. They do not waste their words on complaining, gossip, or defeat. They discipline their speech the way an athlete disciplines the body. They know that words, once spoken, cannot be recalled, and therefore they speak only what aligns with the life they are choosing to create. Consider the person who constantly repeats phrases like, everything is going wrong, or I never catch a break. Such words are not innocent, they are commands. The subconscious mind takes them as instructions, and the invisible powers of life echo them back as events, circumstances, and conditions. On the other hand, the individual who declares, everything works together for my good, and opportunities come to me daily, will soon find that doors open, solutions appear, and prosperity flows. The difference is not chance, the difference is word. Wealth is never only a matter of numbers in a bank account, it is the outward picture of inner speech, spoken faithfully and consistently. To understand this, you must see speech as creative substance. Imagine a sculptor who holds clay in his hands. Every movement of his fingers shapes the form that will appear. Your words are the hands of a sculptor, and your life is the clay. Every day you shape and reshape it with the sentences you choose. If you speak fear, you carve cracks into your vessel. If you speak hope, you mold strength and beauty. The wealthy do not stumble into riches, they command them with a vocabulary of prosperity. They speak of opportunities as certain, of wealth as inevitable, of success as natural. Even when circumstances appear unfavorable, they do not let negative words escape their lips. They may acknowledge a challenge, but they will declare their triumph over it. They will say, this too shall pass, and something greater will come of it. And because their words align with faith rather than fear, wealth flows toward them as metal is drawn to a magnet. Some people resist this truth because they believe words are powerless without action. Yet action itself is born of speech. What you say to yourself shapes what you believe, and what you believe determines what you do. A person who constantly tells himself I cannot succeed will hesitate, retreat, and avoid opportunities. A person who declares I am destined for success will step forward boldly, take risks, and act with conviction. Action is the fruit, but words are the seed. Without the seed, there can be no harvest. The rich understand this sequence: declare, believe, act, receive. The poor reverse it: wait to receive before they believe, remain silent until they see, and because they never declare, they never create. Think of the child who grows up hearing words of encouragement. You are capable, you are bright, you can do anything. Those words shape confidence, resilience, and achievement. Then think of the child who grows up hearing, you will never amount to anything, you are always failing, nothing works for you. Those words become chains of limitation. In the same way, the words you repeat to yourself daily form the story of your future. You are both the speaker and the listener, the sower and the reaper. What you tell yourself, you eventually believe. What you believe, you eventually experience. Therefore, guard your tongue, for it is the architect of your destiny. The world is full of stories where people shifted their lives by shifting their speech. A struggling entrepreneur who once said, "No one notices my work," began declaring, "My work is in demand, and clients find me easily." Within months, opportunities appeared that had been invisible before. A person drowning in debt who often muttered, "I'll never get out of this," began saying instead, "Every debt is dissolved, and money comes to me in abundance." Soon, unexpected income, opportunities, and support began flowing in, and the weight of debt lifted. This is not magic, it is law. Words are magnets. They pull toward you experiences that match their frequency. The wealthy also understand that silence has power. They do not waste words complaining about what they lack. They do not pour energy into describing problems. Instead, they speak only of solutions, blessings, and the future they are building. Even in private thought, they discipline their words. They understand that the universe does not distinguish between a joke, a casual complaint, or a serious declaration. It only receives vibration. That is why every careless word matters, every sarcastic "I'm broke" is a seed, and every sincere "I am wealthy" is a seed. Which one do you want to water? Which one do you want to grow? The speech of wealth is not limited to money. It includes health, relationships, opportunities, and peace of mind. A wealthy person may say, "I am overflowing with energy, my body is strong, my mind is clear," and they attract health to match. Another may say, "Love surrounds me, and I attract people who uplift me," and soon those relationships appear. To speak wealth is to speak wholeness. True prosperity is not a bank account alone, it is abundance in every dimension of life, and all of it begins with words. When doubt whispers, your words must rise louder. When fear knocks, your words must answer with courage. When lack seems near, your words must declare plenty. Never allow the outer picture to silence the inner truth. The wealthy know that conditions are temporary, but words are eternal. Conditions bend to the authority of consistent declarations. If you want wealth, speak wealth until your world rearranges itself around your speech. Say, "Money loves me, and I love money as a servant of good." Say, "I am always provided for, and I always prosper." Say, "Wealth flows to me in rivers, and nothing can stop its flow." And say it not once, but daily with faith, until the truth you speak becomes the life you live. Guard your conversations as fiercely as you guard your finances. Do not allow others to trap you into speaking defeat. If friends complain of struggle, do not join them in agreement. Instead, lift the atmosphere with words of possibility. Things are turning around, opportunities are near, life is always expanding. Your words can elevate a room, shift a conversation, and open a collective doorway to prosperity. The wealthy carry this aura wherever they go because they carry this language within them. Even in moments of quiet, your self-talk matters. What do you say to yourself when no one hears? Do you whisper defeat, or do you affirm victory? Do you repeat the stories of failure, or do you narrate the vision of abundance? Wealth begins in the silent dialogue of the mind, but it is solidified in the spoken word. Speak aloud the life you choose, for when you speak, you give sound to the unseen and call it into form. The sound carries vibration, and vibration organizes matter. You are not merely speaking to air, you are speaking to the substance of life itself, commanding it to obey. Never underestimate the power of declaring, "I am." These are the two most creative words in existence, for whatever follows them will seek expression in your life. When you say, "I am wealthy," you align with wealth. When you say, "I am poor," you align with poverty. When you say, "I am lucky," opportunities rush to prove you right. When you say, "I am always unlucky," obstacles rush to confirm it. Guard your "I am" statements, for they are keys that open or close the doors of destiny. The wealthy use "I am" as a declaration of truth long before the evidence shows. They say, "I am prosperous," while still building. They say, "I am successful," while still striving. And because their words hold the seed of faith, the harvest inevitably follows. If you doubt this, look at your own past. The words you repeated most often, positive or negative, became your reality. Every breakthrough you've had was preceded by words of courage, spoken to yourself or to others. Every setback was amplified by words of fear. Now imagine the future you can create by consistently speaking only words that shape wealth, joy, and freedom. Imagine never again saying, "I can't," but always saying, "I can." Imagine never again saying, "It's too hard," but always saying, "I always find a way." Imagine never again saying, "I'm unlucky," but always saying, "Life favors me." This shift alone could alter the entire course of your destiny. The wealthy are not merely those who possess money, they are those who master the language of prosperity. Money follows language, opportunities follow declarations, success follows speech. If you want to join the ranks of the wealthy, do not wait for the numbers to change your words first. Train your tongue to speak only of abundance. Correct yourself when you slip into words of lack. Replace "I'm broke" with "I am blessed." Replace "I can't afford this" with "I am choosing when and how to spend." Replace "Things never work for me" with "Everything works together for my good." With practice, this language will become natural, and when it becomes natural, wealth will feel natural too. Your words shape your wealth. They are the first currency you spend each day, the first investment you make, the first contract you sign with the universe. Spend them wisely, invest them in abundance, sign your destiny with declarations of prosperity. Do this consistently, and the life you speak will become the life you live. For no power on earth can silence a soul that speaks in faith, and no circumstance can deny wealth to the one who has spoken it into being. Guard your vision, for it is the foundation upon which all true prosperity is built. Vision is the seed of destiny, the blueprint of every achievement, and the silent force that guides the wealthy, the strong, and the victorious. Without vision, people stumble, and without vision, wealth cannot be sustained. You must learn to protect the picture you hold in your mind as if it were the most valuable possession you own, because in truth, it is. Every great fortune, every vast empire, Every innovation that has changed the course of humanity began first as a vision, unseen by the eyes of the world, but alive in the secret chambers of the imagination. Those who rise to greatness rise not by accident, but by carrying within them an image so clear, so certain, that nothing in the outer world can steal it away. When you guard your vision, you are refusing to allow doubt to invade your imagination. You are refusing to let fear write the story of your future. You are choosing, instead, to protect that invisible pattern which the infinite has placed within you. The wealthiest individuals on earth are not those who merely work harder than others. They are those who see farther. Their inner eye is fixed on what others cannot yet perceive. They dream in detail, and they shield those dreams from negativity, disbelief, and distraction. The poor may scoff, the fearful may criticize, and the doubtful may dismiss, but the one who holds fast to their vision holds in their hands the key to unlimited riches. Consider for a moment that everything you see in the material world was once invisible. The buildings in your city, the bridges that connect vast distances, the technologies that connect voices across oceans. Every single one began as an unseen image in someone's mind. If those images had been abandoned when others mocked them, the world would remain in darkness. Vision precedes manifestation, and manifestation is impossible without vision. Therefore, guarding your vision is not a casual matter, it is your sacred duty. You must nurture it, speak to it, water it with faith, and shield it from anything that might contaminate its purity. The wealthy understand this principle deeply. They do not share their vision with just anyone, for they know that careless words from unbelievers can act like poison to the seed of imagination. They choose carefully who they allow into their circle, who they confide in, and who they permit to speak into their life. They protect their dreams like a gardener protects delicate seedlings, knowing that one harsh storm can destroy what has not yet taken root. The wise understand that premature exposure of a vision to the wrong environment can cripple it, so they hold it quietly, feeding it daily with affirmations, prayer, planning, and action until the day comes when it bursts forth into the material world with undeniable power. Guarding your vision also means refusing to measure your possibilities by your present circumstances. Many people surrender their dreams because they look at their current bank account, their current environment, or their current limitations and decide that what they imagine is impossible. But the wealthy live by a different law. They know that vision always comes before provision. They understand that when the inner picture is clear, the outer resources will appear. Faith fuels their focus. They say to themselves, "What I see inwardly will one day stand before me outwardly." And because they believe this, they act as though it were already true. The moment you allow your vision to be clouded by fear, you begin to compromise. You settle for less, you shrink your goals, and you align yourself with mediocrity. But when you guard your vision, you refuse to compromise. You say, "I will hold this picture of abundance in my mind until it is formed in my world. I will not give it up because of delay. I will not abandon it because of criticism. I will not surrender it because of temporary failure." In that moment, you become unstoppable, because no external condition can dictate the reality of a guarded vision. Wealthy individuals live in a state of inner certainty that others mistake for arrogance. They walk with quiet confidence because they know that their vision is more real than the circumstances others see. They guard that vision through affirmations, through meditation, through disciplined focus, and through relentless action. They understand that the subconscious mind, when filled with a dominant picture, will move heaven and earth to bring it to pass. They know that the universe itself conspires to deliver resources, people, and opportunities to the one who holds fast to their vision. And so, they remain steadfast, even when storms rage and everything seems to oppose them. Guarding your vision also requires discernment. Not every idea that enters your mind is worthy of protection. Some are distractions, designed to scatter your energy and dilute your focus. The wealthy know how to distinguish between fleeting whims and divinely inspired vision. They choose one path, one goal, and they hold it with intensity until it materializes. The scattered man sees many things but builds nothing. The focused man sees one thing clearly and builds an empire. That is the difference between wishful thinking and wealth-producing vision. It is also important to understand that a true vision will often exceed your current capacity. It will seem larger than your resources, greater than your qualifications, and beyond your present environment. This is by design. Vision stretches you. It demands that you grow into it. If your dream does not scare you, it is too small. If it does not require faith, it is not true vision. Therefore, do not shrink your vision to fit your comfort zone. Instead, expand your faith to match the grandeur of the image that burns within you. Guard it fiercely, for it is the very thing that will pull you into your highest destiny. Guarding your vision is not passive, it requires daily work. Each morning, revisit the picture of the life you desire. Write it down, speak it aloud. Imagine yourself already living in it. Feel the emotions it stirs within you. The more vividly you see it, the more powerfully it will pull resources toward you. The wealthy do not leave their vision to chance. They rehearse it, refine it, and reinforce it daily. They know that repetition ingrains it into the subconscious until it becomes a magnet for manifestation. But guarding your vision also requires patience. You cannot plant a seed today and expect a harvest tomorrow. Vision operates in seasons. There is a time to conceive, a time to protect, a time to cultivate, and a time to harvest. Many abandon their dreams because they do not understand timing. They think delay is denial, but delay is often preparation. The wealthy wait with faith. They understand that while they hold their vision steady, unseen forces are aligning in their favor. They do not dig up their seeds in frustration. They wait, they work, and they trust. Criticism will come. Mockery will come. Resistance will come. But if your vision is guarded, none of these will harm you. The wealthy have learned to smile at the voices of doubt, for they know that when their vision manifests, those same critics will marvel. Do not waste your energy arguing with those who cannot see what you see. Simply continue building in silence. Let your results speak louder than their skepticism. Protect your vision from negativity by refusing to engage in fruitless debates with the blind. And remember this: your vision is not only for you. True vision blesses others. When you guard it and bring it to pass, you create opportunities, you inspire hope, and you expand possibilities for those around you. Wealthy individuals know that their dreams are not selfish. They are seeds planted for the benefit of many. When you rise into abundance, you lift others with you. Guard your vision not only for your own prosperity, but for the countless lives it will touch. So today I say, guard your vision as you would guard your life. Protect it from fear, shield it from doubt, defend it against negativity, and feed it daily with faith. See it clearly, hold it firmly, and walk toward it boldly. Do not compromise it, do not abandon it, and do not share it carelessly. For in guarding your vision, you guard your future. And in guarding your future, you unlock the door to limitless wealth, peace, and fulfillment. The world's wealthiest are not merely those with money, they are those who have mastered the art of protecting the unseen until it becomes seen. You have within you that same power, that same capacity, that same seed of greatness. Guard it, trust it, live by it, and one day you will stand in the reality of the vision you refuse to let go. Boldness is the golden bridge between desire and fulfillment. It is the one trait that separates those who dream endlessly from those who see those dreams become flesh. To act boldly is not to live recklessly, but to live with an unshakable trust in the unseen order of life. It is to stand on the edge of uncertainty and step forward anyway, believing that the ground will rise to meet your feet. The wealthy have mastered this law, and it is why doors open for them that remain forever closed to the timid. Life itself favors the bold. Opportunities are hidden treasures, and they rarely wait for the hesitant. The timid look at chances and say, "What if I fail?" The bold look at the same door and say, "What if I succeed?" It is this inner conversation, this mental shift, that changes everything. Wealth does not come to those who hide from risk. It comes to those who embrace the possibility of both success and failure and move forward regardless. Every bold action begins with a decision. A decision is a line drawn in the sand that says, "I will no longer stay where I am." The poor wait for conditions to become perfect. They say, "When I have enough saved, when the economy improves, when others believe in me, then I will act." But conditions never line up perfectly. The truth is, boldness creates the conditions. Boldness reshapes the landscape to make way for destiny. Think of those who built empires, those whose names live on because of their ventures. They were rarely the most intelligent in the room, nor the ones with the most resources. Often, they were simply the ones who dared. They dared when others doubted. They acted when others analyzed endlessly. They jumped while others calculated reasons to stay on the ground. That single habit of acting boldly brought them wealth, recognition, and impact. Acting boldly is not the absence of fear. Fear is natural, it is the body's way of reminding you that you are entering unknown territory. Boldness is not the denial of fear but the mastery of it. It is saying to fear, "I hear you, but you will not command me." The wealthy feel fear and act anyway. The poor feel fear and stop. This one choice, whether to move despite fear or to retreat because of it, creates two entirely different lives. When you act boldly, you set invisible forces into motion. The universe responds to courage. Doors that were locked suddenly swing open. People who never noticed you before suddenly see you. Resources you thought were scarce suddenly appear. Boldness signals to life that you are serious, that you are ready to handle more, and so more is delivered to you. But timidity sends the opposite signal. Timidity whispers to life, "I am not ready. I do not believe. I do not trust." And life, being a perfect mirror, reflects that message back in the form of stagnation, lack, and missed chances. Acting boldly means trusting your intuition. That inner voice, often quiet but persistent, will guide you toward paths you cannot see fully yet. The bold act on that voice, even when logic cannot explain the step. Wealthy souls understand that intuition is not random. It is the whisper of spirit pointing to doors of abundance. When they hear it, they move quickly. They do not waste time second, guessing what they already know within. There is also a rhythm to boldness. It must become a daily practice, not a rare occurrence. The wealthy cultivate boldness in small choices so that when the larger moments arrive, boldness flows naturally. They speak up in rooms where others remain silent. They ask for opportunities that others are too shy to request. They invest when others hesitate. They reach out to connections others fear to approach. Each small act builds the muscle of boldness, and that muscle opens the way to greater rewards. Consider the truth that money itself is bold. It is energy in motion, flowing constantly from one hand to another, from one bank to another, from one nation to another. To align with money, you must also move boldly. Money does not linger with those who cling tightly in fear. It rushes to those who circulate it with confidence, who invest it with vision, who use it as a servant instead of worshipping it as a master. Boldness also means refusing to ask for permission where none is needed. So many live in cages built by the opinions of others. They hesitate to pursue ideas, to launch businesses, to step onto stages, because they are waiting for someone to tell them it's acceptable. The wealthy do not live this way. They act boldly without apology. They do not shrink to fit into the comfort zones of others. They expand, and in their expansion, they invite others to expand too. But understand, this boldness is not arrogance. True boldness is rooted in faith, not in ego. It is not about proving yourself better than others, but about honoring the greatness placed within you. It is about moving in alignment with divine order, knowing that when you step forward, you are not stepping alone. Spirit backs the bold. Providence rushes to meet them. History is filled with examples of ordinary people who acted boldly and changed the world. A young entrepreneur who launched a vision in a garage, laughed at by peers, only to later build an empire. A teacher who refused to be silenced, whose words ignited movements. A dreamer who invested in an idea others dismissed, only to watch it multiply into fortune. None of these stories began with certainty. They began with boldness. Acting boldly requires you to embrace rejection. Not every bold step will be met with applause. Some doors will close. Some people will laugh. Some ventures may fail. But failure is not the enemy. In fact, failure is proof of boldness. The one who never fails has also never dared. And within each so-called failure lies a lesson, a redirection, an adjustment that positions you for even greater success. The wealthy do not fear failure. They use it as a stepping stone. To live boldly, you must also release the need for control. Many hesitate because they cannot see the entire path. They want guarantees, contracts, and promises before they move. But life does not work that way. The bold step is often a step into the unknown. Yet, paradoxically, that step creates clarity. Roads appear as you walk them, not before. The wealthy understand this truth and walk with faith. Boldness is contagious. When you act boldly, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage becomes a spark in the lives of those around you. Friends, family, and even strangers are lifted by the energy of your daring. Boldness inspires boldness, and soon you find yourself surrounded by a community of courageous souls, all moving toward greater abundance together. Boldness also transforms self-image. Every time you act boldly, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. You break limits that once seemed unshakable, and with each broken limit, your confidence grows. This inner expansion is wealth beyond money. For it is the wealth of character, the wealth of strength, the wealth of resilience. And it is this inner wealth that inevitably draws outer wealth. Ask yourself, what dream have I delayed because I was waiting for the right time? What vision have I silenced because of fear of criticism? What step have I postponed because I wanted certainty? Now is the time to act boldly. The right time is now. The resources you need are waiting to appear the moment you move. The partners, the opportunities, the connections, all stand behind a door that only opens to boldness. Remember this truth. Wealth follows movement. Life is like a stream flowing endlessly. To stand still in fear is to let the river pass you by. To step boldly into the current is to be carried toward abundance. The wealthy have simply learned to keep stepping, even when the water looks rough, even when the way forward seems unclear. And because they are moved toward prosperity. So, let this be your commitment. From this day forward, I will act boldly. I will not wait for perfect clarity. I will not wait for applause. I will not wait for permission. I will not wait until I feel no fear. I will move because the vision within me demands expression. I will step into the unknown with trust that the ground will hold me. I will dare where others doubt. I will act where others hesitate. I will claim what others only dream about. For boldness is the language of abundance, the signal of readiness, the path of the wealthy. And when you act boldly, the world rearranges itself to meet you. To give is to grow, and to withhold is to shrink. This is one of the most misunderstood yet most powerful laws of prosperity. The world has been taught to cling, to hoard, to save in fear, and to protect out of anxiety, but the soul that knows truth understands that giving is not loss, it is increase. Every seed sown returns in a multiplied harvest. Every act of generosity sets in motion a wave of abundance that cannot be stopped. When you give, you align yourself with the eternal rhythm of the universe, a rhythm that never leaves anything stagnant, a rhythm that takes what flows out and multiplies it as it comes back. Money, time, talent, love, whatever you release expands, but whatever you lock up in fear diminishes. To give is to plant your future. To give is to activate the hidden supply that the world cannot see. Many look at giving as subtraction. They think, if I give this, I will have less for myself. But the wealthy, the wise, and the spiritually awake know that the very opposite is true. Giving is never subtraction, it is multiplication. The hand that gives never remains empty. The heart that shares never remains barren. The soil that receives the seed never returns void. You cannot give without setting into motion a cycle of return. The very nature of life is circulation. The breath goes in and comes out, the tide rises and falls, the seasons come and go, and in this same way wealth must flow. To stop the flow is to suffocate it. To release it is to guarantee its return in greater measure. Therefore, giving is not merely a nice gesture. It is the law of increase in action. Those who are poor in spirit often withhold because they believe they have too little to give. They think that they must wait until they are wealthy before they can become generous. But that is not how the law works. It is in giving from where you are now that the gates of more open. If you wait until you have abundance to give, you will never have abundance because the law has not been activated. It is the small seed in the hand that creates the great tree. It is the tiny act of faith that opens the floodgates. Giving is not about the size, it is about the spirit. A coin given with faith plants a future fortune, while a fortune hoarded in fear creates inner poverty. What matters is not how much, but the heart that releases it. And once the heart is open, no door of prosperity can remain shut. Consider the river. It is always full because it is always flowing. It never tries to hold all the water for itself. It pours into the sea, and yet it never runs dry because the source from the mountains never stops. The river knows that as it gives, it is replenished. But the pond that refuses to flow, that locks its water away, soon becomes stagnant, breeding decay instead of life. So it is with money, wealth, and blessing. They are designed to flow. If you block the flow, you cut off your own supply. If you let it circulate, you guarantee freshness, abundance, and continual increase. Giving is the way you keep your financial river alive. When you give, you declare to the universe, I am not limited, I am supplied. That declaration itself becomes magnetic. It attracts more of what you gave. If you give love, love multiplies. If you give encouragement, encouragement returns to you in unexpected ways. If you give money, money finds its way back multiplied. Fear says, if I give, I will lose. Faith says, if I give, I will gain. Fear locks the door. Faith opens it wide. And the wealthy understand this. Their wealth is not sustained by saving alone, but by the cycle of giving and receiving. The poorest souls are not those who lack money, but those who lack generosity, for they cut themselves off from the circulation of blessing. Do not mistake giving for mere charity. Giving is not about petty or obligation. It is about alignment with divine law. Charity looks at lack, but true giving looks at abundance. Charity says, I must give because they don't have. Prosperity giving says, I give because I am part of a universe that multiplies what flows. The wealthy do not give to lose, they give to expand. They know that every dollar sown is a dollar planted in the soil of destiny. They know that generosity is an investment, not an expense. They know that to withhold is to tell the universe, I don't trust supply. While to give is to boldly declare, I know supply never ends. Giving is a statement of faith, a contract with abundance, a sacred act of creation. Look at the farmer who holds the seed. If he says, this is all I have, I must not let it go, then he will never see the harvest. His seed will rot in his hand. But if he dares to release it into the soil, though it looks like loss, it is only the beginning of increase. The seed must be given away in order to multiply. And so it is with every resource in your hand. It is not meant to be locked in fear, but planted in faith. The farmer does not weep as he releases the seed. He smiles because he knows what is coming. And if you learn to release with the same expectation, your harvest will never fail. What looks like giving away is actually planting your increase. The wealthy understand timing in giving. They do not wait for comfort, they give in faith. They do not delay until they feel secure. They give to create security. They give strategically. They give joyfully. They give with vision. They know that every outflow creates an inflow. They give knowing the law cannot be broken, that what leaves must return. And because they give in rhythm with this eternal principle, they live in overflow. The poorest, on the other hand, cling desperately, never realizing that by trying to save what little they have, they cut off the river that could bring them more. Generosity is not optional for those who wish to prosper. It is the very key to unlocking wealth. There is a secret: what you make happen for others, the universe will make happen for you. Every gift you release to uplift, encourage, or strengthen another soul is a seed that ensures you will be uplifted, encouraged, and strengthened in return. This is why the wealthiest are often the most generous, not because they can afford to be, but because they cannot afford not to be. They have proven the law. They know that as they release, increase is guaranteed. They know that their giving is not loss but leverage. They know that their generosity is not sacrifice but strategy. And so they keep the river flowing, and the river never runs dry. To give to grow is not limited to money. It is in every aspect of life. If you want more love, give love freely. If you want more wisdom, share the wisdom you have. If you want more opportunities, create opportunities for others. If you want more joy, give joy to those around you. The world is a mirror, and whatever you project into it is reflected back. Your giving sets the tone of your receiving. You cannot give bitterness and expect sweetness. You cannot give stinginess and expect abundance. But you can give kindness and expect favor. You can give generosity and expect wealth. You can give faith and expect miracles. Life always returns what you release, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. When you give, give with joy, for joy multiplies the seed. Do not give with regret, or you plant doubt instead of faith. Do not give to be seen, or you plant ego instead of abundance. Give from the heart, and you will see harvests that exceed your imagination. The wealthiest know that it is not the amount but the spirit of giving that multiplies. A heart that trusts always draws supply. A hand that releases always attracts more. A soul that gives freely is a soul that lives fully. For to give is to grow, and to grow is to live in harmony with the infinite supply. Every fortune built in truth carries this secret. Behind the wealth you see is a rhythm of giving you cannot see. For every towering building, every expanding business, every flow of wealth, there is generosity moving unseen, creating channels for more. Those who rise to wealth and cling to it selfishly often watch it dissolve, for they have violated the law. But those who rise and continue to circulate through giving remain in overflow. They are rivers, not reservoirs. They are channels, not containers. And because they keep the flow alive, wealth never leaves them. It may shift forms, but it never departs. It may expand into new avenues, but it never ends. Giving secures their place in prosperity. And so the invitation to you is simple: give to grow. Give even when it feels like you have little. Give even when fear tells you to hold back. Give even when logic says to wait. Give because giving proves faith, and faith always creates increase. Give because life is circulation, and you are part of that eternal rhythm. Give because nothing you truly give is ever lost. It is planted, multiplied, and returned. Give to grow, for there is no other way to rise into lasting wealth. Those who give live in expansion, and those who live in expansion touch realms of abundance beyond measure. To give is to grow, and to grow is to live in the fullness of prosperity that was always meant for you. To stay aligned with spirit is to live in the flow of abundance, peace, and limitless supply. It is to recognize that every visible form of wealth is only an effect, never the cause. The true cause is invisible, unshakable, and eternal. Spirit is the source, and when you anchor yourself to that truth, the currents of life rearrange themselves in your favor. People who chase money alone often find themselves exhausted, anxious, and restless, because they are pursuing shadows instead of light. But when you align with spirit, you no longer chase, you attract. You no longer beg, you command. You no longer wonder if you will be provided for. You walk in the certainty that provision is your birthright. The wealthiest souls on earth are not those who cling tightly to possessions, but those who know the secret of being in harmony with the unseen. Spirit whispers directions, nudges, and guidance that the ordinary mind cannot grasp. It says, "This is the way, walk in it." It opens doors where there seem to be none. It raises you above obstacles others call impossible. When you are aligned, money ceases to be a problem, opportunities flow to you like rivers, and your life becomes a testimony of divine order. Spirit does not play favorites. It is impartial, infinite, and ever ready to pour abundance into the lives of those who are willing to listen, trust, and act. Alignment requires attention. It is not a casual state, it is a chosen posture of the heart and mind. Each morning you decide whether you will walk in fear or faith, whether you will place your trust in the markets or in the infinite. Those who stay aligned rise each day with gratitude, knowing that Spirit has already prepared blessings, connections, and resources for them. They are not moved by appearances because they know appearances are temporary. They rest in the truth that the unseen is more real than the seen. When the world panics, they remain calm. When others retreat, they advance. Their confidence is not arrogance. It is the quiet power of alignment. To stay aligned with Spirit is to train your inner ear to hear above the noise of doubt. Spirit's voice is never anxious. It speaks in peace, in assurance, in certainty. It may not reveal the whole path, but it always reveals the next step. And when you follow faithfully, more is revealed. The wealthy understand this rhythm. They know alignment is not about trying harder, but about trusting deeper. They take time to silence their restless thoughts and to tune into the frequency of divine guidance. Out of this stillness, their decisions carry unusual clarity, their actions strike with precision, and their lives attract prosperity with ease. There is no true abundance without alignment. You can gather riches apart from spirit, but you cannot keep them in peace. Without alignment, wealth becomes a burden, possessions own their owner, and success leaves a taste of emptiness. But with alignment, even modest beginnings expand into limitless possibilities. Spirit does not only bless the bank account, it blesses the heart, the home, the health, and the future. It brings harmony where there was chaos, and increase where there was lack. To stay aligned is to live in the reality that you are never separated from supply, because supply is spirit itself moving through you. Many people drift in and out of alignment, treating spirit as an emergency exit rather than a daily companion. They pray only when desperate, declare truth only when cornered, and listen only when problems grow too loud. But the wealthy make alignment their lifestyle. It is not occasional, it is continual. They live as if the infinite walks with them at every step, because it does. They consult spirit in decisions big and small, from investments to relationships. And because they do, their path shines brighter and brighter. While others stumble in confusion, they walk in clarity, because their steps are ordered. Alignment demands surrender. It requires letting go of the illusion of control. Those who insist on carrying everything in their own strength often collapse under the weight of worry. But those who align release the need to know how everything will unfold. They move in trust, declaring, I am guided. I am supplied. I am safe in the flow of spirit. This surrender is not weakness, it is strength because it taps into power beyond the human will. And in that surrender, miracles unfold. Unexpected checks arrive, new doors open, people appear with solutions, and problems dissolve before they even fully manifest. This is not luck, it is alignment at work. The wealthy know that alignment is maintained through practices of the heart and mind. They meditate, they affirm, they give thanks, they visualize. They refuse to poison their atmosphere with words of lack, fear, or limitation. Instead, they keep their inner channel clear so spirit can flow without obstruction. They know resentment blocks blessing, so they forgive quickly. They know fear attracts more fear, so they replace it with faith. They know doubt delays manifestation, so they discipline their thoughts to dwell on certainty. This inner work is not optional, it is essential. Wealth is not simply in what you do, but in who you are becoming. And alignment transforms you into a magnet of prosperity. To remain aligned with spirit is to carry an awareness of abundance wherever you go. You do not walk into a room thinking of what is missing. You walk in with the knowing that supply is present and available. You do not look at your bank account as your source. You see it as one of many channels through which spirit flows. You are not intimidated by bills, debt, or setbacks, because you know spirit is greater than any number on a page. You carry yourself with quiet confidence because you are backed by the infinite storehouse of the universe. That awareness itself attracts favor, opportunities, and wealth. Because life reflects what you carry within, alignment also reshapes your relationship with money. You stop fearing it, stop idolizing it, and start mastering it. You understand that money is energy, a servant, a tool to be directed with intention. When aligned, you no longer cling tightly out of fear of losing. You give, invest, circulate, and share, knowing that as you release, more flows back multiplied. Spirit teaches you that giving is not loss but increase, not subtraction but multiplication. This understanding sets the wealthy apart from the masses, who cling in fear and thus restrict their own flow. The aligned live open-handed, and because of that their lives overflow. There will be moments when life tests your alignment. Circumstances will arise that tempt you to fear, to doubt, to complain. These are not signs that spirit has abandoned you, they are invitations to stand firm in truth. Every test is a chance to deepen your alignment. When the storm comes, the wealthy aligned soul declares, "This too shall pass, and greater good is on its way." While others are swept into panic, they remain grounded, and soon enough the storm clears, leaving them stronger and richer. Alignment is not proven in ease but in adversity, and those who pass the test rise into unshakable prosperity. Staying aligned with spirit does not mean you will never face challenges. It means you will never face them alone. It means provision is always on the way before the need even arises. It means doors will open in unexpected places, and opportunities will come dressed as coincidences. It means the right people will cross your path at the right time, and what seemed like a dead end will reveal itself as a new beginning. Alignment assures you that life is conspiring in your favor, even when appearances say otherwise. The wealthy know this truth, and it gives them courage to persist when others quit. The beauty of alignment is that it is available to anyone. It does not require wealth to begin, it is the foundation upon which wealth is built. Whether you start with much or with little, the principle is the same: stay aligned, and supply will increase. Stay aligned, and doors will open. Stay aligned, and your outer world will mirror the abundance of your inner world. The only requirement is willingness, the willingness to trust, to listen, to speak truth, and to act in faith. Spirit does not withhold, spirit only flows, and alignment is your way of opening the channel. Imagine living a life where you never worry about supply again. Imagine walking through each day with peace, knowing that everything you need is already on its way. Imagine creating, giving, and enjoying without fear of lack. This is not fantasy, it is the reality of alignment. The wealthiest have tapped into it, and you can too. It begins with a choice to place spirit first, to honor the invisible as greater than the visible, and to walk each day in harmony with the infinite source of all good. Stay aligned, and you will never be the same. Stay aligned, and the currents of abundance will carry you into opportunities, blessings, and miracles you could not have orchestrated alone. Stay aligned, and you will discover that wealth is not something you chase. It is something you embody. And when you embody it, the world cannot help but reflect it back to you in overflowing measure.